TSM's veteran top laner.
Thank you, Riv. I am here with Dyrus after their win. Congratulations, Dyrus. Now, you've been playing League of Legends for a very long time, and you actually started with TSM in New York. With this victory, you've also secured that you guys will head to New York, whether you're playing for third or first. What is going through your head heading back to where it all began for you?
So it was the beginning of my esports life, I guess, coming from Hawaii and going back to New York. Honestly, like, we've only been to the city like 5 times, even though we lived there, because we lived in Lindenhurst, which was a suburb, and we didn't really do much but stay inside, play League of Legends, stream, and then, you know, do all the stuff you know TSM for.
Well, you had a couple of back-to-back carry games there on Olaf where you did very well. It's always really strong for a team to have multiple threats, you know, Bjergsen going over to the support role. How has it been with Reggie coming in and coaching you guys? Has he been trying to push you guys more in this direction and get people to branch out, or did it come from within the team?
Well, if you had to say if there was any MVP for our team, it would definitely be Reggie, because the moment he stepped in, like, everything Reggie does, like, as a coach, even though, like, he used to be a pro player, co-worker, now he's the boss, and he's a friend at the same time. Like, he's the real MVP in all this. I don't think we'd be able to go 3-1 against Gravity without him. I feel like it would have been a completely different story, and Reggie coming in, changing that dynamic of, like, you know, seeing the obvious things from outside the box and just being really good at coaching, even though he's like, it's not really his job. He's the real MVP.
All right, big props there. Now, your next opponent is going to be Team Liquid before you go to New York to decide, you know, what place you guys will be playing for. You had some trash talk for Gravity. What are your thoughts on Team Liquid and your opponent Quas in the top lane moving forward?
Just like Hanser, like, Quas is a really nice guy. They're both like the best top laners I've ever played against in this region, but it doesn't matter if they beat me in lane because my team will still win anyways.
All right, well, TSM looking for Team Liquid next weekend. We are going to send it back to the caster desk real quick here.
Thank you very much, Kobe. Great interview. Dyrus, again, congratulations on the victory and to the team. And what a game for TSM to change around the end of the split. Well, they went 7-2 on the first half, 4-5 on the second half, which is quite a few more losses. And that was when the turbulence hit. And for them to just kind of say, let's flip this switch and play completely different, you got to give more credit to the guys behind the scenes as well, as he was saying.
Yeah, the question for me is going to be whether they can maintain this level as well, because they played very well against Gravity. We also have to wonder how strong Gravity was coming into this, because they went into a pretty downward trend towards the end of the regular season.
A lot of people were saying if Gravity had just played, it might have been better, had they not had time to kind of think about all these mistakes
overthink
and whatnot,
stuff,
or just
ban
kind
of
of go
Diana.
into it. Yeah, ban of Diana. But no, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, specifically, they're playing a seemingly a completely new style, and that'll be tested again against other teams. I also wonder how many cards they have shown early on. They did a lot of stuff that was unexpected from TSM to begin with, and now they have one more week, not the 2 weeks they had after the end of the regular season, to go up against Team Liquid, the #1 team in the region.
That's true, and I want to see what Liquid is thinking going into this. What do we do about the Olaf? Quas is probably practicing that right now. You know he has it up his sleeve too, and that he wants to be able to beat Dyrus in top lane. But the rest of the map, you have to play around all that. Dyrus is just saying you can shut him down, but you have to care about everybody else too.
Something I wanted to mention about that interview before we move forward is that Dyrus in the play before in that clip said, everybody's always talking about wanting to get me benched, get me quit. When are you going to do this? When are you going to change out Dyrus? Well, I think he had the game. He needed to kind of shut up the naysayers for some time before they feel
just wait until they lose one more time.
Before they figure out how to
it's over.
Resharpen those pitchforks. No, I'm just kidding. All right, everybody, to wrap up our quarterfinal coverage, let's head over to the analyst desk.
Thank you, gentlemen. 3-1 there for TSM, as Loco called it. Final thoughts on the series as it played out today, gentlemen?
Honestly, I want to talk about TSM doing really well, but I also want to talk about the fact that Gravity still have a postseason ahead of them. They have up to 3 best-of-5s leading up to qualify for Worlds still. They're going to come into that regional qualifier, and I want to see this team adapt better in best-of-5s. I don't think in any single one of their games did I actually like their bans after Game 1. Olaf ban needed to come sooner. Banning Lulu in Game 4 is weird when they already banned the Olaf. Things like this need to be shored up a little bit. It's a young team. I think they will improve, but they need to get these skills honed.
thought you said you like their champion select. When I said I did it.
I like I like the champions chosen. I do not like the bands chosen.
Okay. So some learning points here for Gravity. It is important to note, as you mentioned, that they are locked into the Gauntlet, and now with this loss, they are locked into the 4th seed, the last seed in the Gauntlet. So they're going to have, as you mentioned, multiple best of 5s to get through
to go to Worlds
in order to make it to Worlds. Now, for TSM, Kobe, you just got to talk to Dyrus a little bit. You know, closing thoughts on how they performed here, as we definitely do agree, I think, that they stepped up coming into this series.
Yeah, it's great that they did show that, they have other directions that they can go with if, Bergson gets banned or something like that. But there were definite mistakes still in this series, and they're going up against Team Liquid. Very scary opponent right now. They did take the #1 spot in North America, and this is a TSM team that's used to being in that #1 spot. So to get to play for the North American LCS Finals, they're going to have to go straight through Team Liquid to get there.
All right, well, that's going to do it for the series. We had a bunch of great performances, but at the end of the day, Dyrus is going to be the player that claims our Player of the Series honors. Coming into this series, everyone was wondering whether or not TSM could broaden their strategies. Right off the bat, Dyrus jumped in and showed he can carry for his team. He had some great performances on Olaf, securing a quadra kill, and forced Gravity to ban that champion away from him ultimately.
And I really love how TSM came into Game 1. They picked Lulu early and they waited to the very end to say, you guys know Dyrus. He's a safe top lane. He's going to play back. This Lulu's for him. Just kidding. Bjergsen's going to make Olaf, the carry here. And it was so beautiful to watch. I really, really, really liked how Dyrus played this series.
And that being said, Bjergsen did a great job with the Lulu pick there. So all around.
Yeah, Dyrus mentioned it in the interview there. Even if I get beaten lane, he's so confident in the rest of his team's ability to carry. Like to point out, too, the fact that when that Olaf ban came through, his Gnar play, fantastic. Didn't drop a death for the game. And the highest damage in the game.
It's been one of his best champions all split long.
All right, well, congratulations to him on that. Now we know both of our semifinal matchups, so let's pull up the bracket. TSM have won their way through the quarterfinals and will face our #1 seed, Team Liquid. Also advancing is Team Impulse, who have the honor of battling #2, Counter Logic Gaming. Gentlemen, as we look ahead to next week, make sure to tune in for the conclusion of the European and North American Challengers Series. You can catch the playoff finals on Wednesday, starting in Europe with Mouse Sports taking on Team Dignitas EU. Then in North America, it's Team Coast versus Renegades. The winner of those series will claim a place in the upcoming LCS Spring Split. And on Thursday, we'll be bringing you a brand new episode of Primetime League with the latest news from all the major regions. Then on Saturday, our playoffs continue in Europe with #2 seed Origin taking on H2K. Immediately following the conclusion of that series, we'll bring it back to North America for Counter Logic Gaming versus Team Impulse. With all of that in mind, when we finally do get to next week, starting off with our Counter Logic Gaming versus Team Impulse best of 5 series, what are you guys' immediate thoughts when these two teams are going up against each other?
I think Impulse look a little bit less good than I expected them to. Gate just came into the team. Okay, his first few games looked a bit shaky. That's fine. He's brand new to the team. Whatever. Over the 2 weeks, though, I didn't see him improve very much. He held up in lane against Shifter, but everyone's supposed to win lane against Shifter, so I still wasn't impressed by him. He's solid, but kind of not overlooked. He gets kind of a little bit run over. I think that might still happen here. Pobelter's been pretty solid for CLG. I think just kind of down the line, the matchups are really exciting, except for the fact that the mid lane's, I think, pretty CLG favored.
Kobe, it's CLG, new territory for them, being second seed going into the playoffs. What do you think?
It's such an interesting matchup because CLG usually manufacture these early leads out of lane swaps, whereas Team Impulse try and get Rush to create early game action for themselves. So we talked about early games this series. The early games versus CLG and Team Impulse is going to be really fun.
Yep, sure to be very exciting series. Well, now it's time to get your learn on with our segment, What the Freak? And we had to wade through a heaping pile of puns to find these questions. We're going to start with Andreas Matt Folk, who asks, have you ever wanted to switch from being a caster to being a player/coach?
I wouldn't want to switch. I actually really enjoy being here with you guys. And casting the game is a whole bunch of fun. If for some reason I wasn't allowed to cast anymore, like if I suddenly became mute and I had a way to communicate in sign language, I would like to. I think it'd be really fun.
Would you be an effective coach if you were a mute?
Yeah, I would smart. But think about it. We have like Chinese and Korean teams playing together. You've got all kinds of teams that communicate via ping. Some of them win world championships or at least get to the finals.
So you're saying that your skill level is high enough to be a player. You just have to ping.
I just be Uzi and go to Worlds. I mean, it'd be easy. I mean, obviously, it would like be a long road ahead, but like, yes, I love the game so much. If I couldn't cast, I'd still want to be involved in League of Legends. Still want to be involved in esports. If that's a player or a coach, if that's a team manager, I would still want to be in esports.
That's fair.
Don't always get what you want.
That's a fair
point. I
That
might
is a
not be in
true
esports
statement.
anymore.
Okay, well, next up, Exexis Bob asks, hey, Freak, do you think TSM has been sandbagging all split and preparing a bunch of secret strats like this one in Game 1?
I don't think so.
Well, we know what Kobe thinks.
Yeah. No, I think this was a really solid 2 weeks of preparation. The players improving, the team improving, doing a really good job. Especially because if you're going to like hoard onto strats, you wouldn't hoard them for a quarterfinal matchup. If you think you're that good that you're going to save stuff, you save it for the semi. I do think that TSM would, in this series, use as few new strats as possible, but they didn't have these things like 3 months ago. Maybe there's more things they know, maybe there aren't, but you know, I guess kind of a mix of both sides of that argument.
That would be some epic sandbagging. Have
Yeah,
this twist just prepared for TSM Legends.
Get 5th place, whatever, drop a game, but just kidding, guys. They re-released the season, like the week 2 footage of them, and like, lose this game on purpose, guys.
Right, you
Let 'em
open
go.
yourselves up.
Lose
to-
the internet, lose MSI, the international competition, and just get crushed. Embarrass the whole.
All right. All right, well, there you have that. All right.
plan.
All right, next up, Fist of Wrath says, do you prepare your puns ahead of time, or are you a natural?
About 90% of the time, it's on the spot. The most recent pun I delivered, the muck Pokemon pun. So Riv said running amok, and my brain said, oh, a muck, that's a Pokemon. And so I Googled like what Pokemon type muck is. It's a poison type, by the way, in case you were wondering. And then the thing is, I didn't plan on saying it because like you started saying other things as we introed into the game, and it was whatever. And then I just
with the plan next
But
time.
your body didn't let you. Your
yeah,
body
my
didn't let
mind
you
was telling
just-
me no, but I ended up saying run amok, and before I could stop myself, it just came out. And I was like, well, that just happened. I guess I said that one. So, but I mean, by and large, it's like on the spot or within like 2 minutes.
I think we can attest to the fact that Freak does not plan the majority of his puns. We have to endure them day in and day out.
I do know that he does save good ones when they just come up. You know, just in conversation or just when we're doing something else at a meeting.
using that.
He'll
That's
save
true.
that one for later and be like, yes, I'm gonna use this gem later.
He has a pun arsenal.
Yes.
To be sure. To be sure. All right. Finally, Burnt Mungers asks, if you had to take 2 pro players to help you survive on a desert island, who would they be and why? Much to Kobe's chagrin here.
Why do people keep asking?
Why do people care so much?
How many
This
desert
isn't a
islands are there?
This isn't a situation that I feel like is ever going to present itself. But okay, nonetheless, your answer.
So yeah, I mean, first of all, Kobe, I did pick the question because you expressed such hate for the question. I was like, you know what? Give me that question after all. I want to troll Kobe. So first of all, I would pick Dash. Dash, you're very sort of fit and man. You could climb some trees.
Are you,
Kobe, that's
are you
for me.
finally admitting that I'm good enough to be a pro player? Is that
No,
what's happening right now?
I'm
Because
just,
that would.
I'm just bastardizing the question a little bit. You are a former jacket winner, so I'll give you that.
That's true.
You know, you're good enough player that I think you qualify. At least you're in platinum.
Okay,
so
thanks.
yeah, I would pick Dash, and then the other player I would pick, I think I'd pick Smoothie. Because if I'm stuck on a desert island for a while, I feel like having a smoothie would be nice. I'd get hungry or thirsty or something. So
Nice and refreshing.
Yeah.
Because it is a desert island.
yes.
Kobe?
I have no words.
Kobe just does not. Kobe is now done with it. He's done with the show. He's done with the day. And guess what? So are we. So on behalf of our entire live broadcast crew, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week.